Okay, thanks for rejoining me on the eGOS tutorial. Part one of the tutorial went through everything, setting up GOS 1 and GOS 3 forms that you can see here. Technical difficulty, we got cut off, so I'm just going to pick up where we left off basically. So I've got GOS 1 and GOS 3 forms here ready to submit, but before I do, I just wanted to show you how to set up the contractor and performer information on your system. So if we go to System Admin and then Data Management, Edit Settings. So here at the top, you've got Performer Settings. So I can select each of my performers from the drop-down list and store the performer name and list number next to each one. And then obviously click on Update once you've specified the details. The eGOS Settings section here allows you to store the contractor name and who it's signed as, and supplier name also. The organisation code and PSK need to remain as they are. Those are the key bits of information that we pass to PCSE to link everything up and make sure it goes to the right account. So if I just update that. Okay, so if we go back to GOS form, in fact, a couple of other things I didn't include in the original part one was generating a GOS 4 and also what to do if a patient wants to take away a GOS 3 voucher with them. So I'll quickly go through that now. It follows the same principles that we've already been through. If I go to a GOS, the GOS menu, I can click on eGOS 4 and it generates a repair dispense and a GOS 4 form. And obviously I can fill in the front of the form, and then I won't do that now. I'll just close that down and go to dispensing. Sorry, go to the dispensing history for this patient. I can now see that on the 26th, I've got a repair voucher dispense. I'll have a quick look at that dispense. If you want to create these manually, just show you quickly how you do that. Basically, you do as you would normally do when you're selecting or when you're carrying out dispense. In the spectacles section, you would select a frame and the lens. So you might want to set up something like existing frame or patient's frame, or you might want to set up a lens such as blank lens. That you can select those as part of the dispense. And then the key thing to do here is just to put a repair voucher value into this box here. You don't tick any of the boxes to say what the voucher value is that the amount relates to. You just put in the actual repair voucher claim amount that you want to put onto the form. And then when I save that, it then generates that GOS form that we saw. So I'll just go back to that. Yep, so here's the GOS 4 form. I can say that the patient is on universal credit. I need to enter a reason for the damage. And get the patient's signature. Okay, on the back of the form, it obviously brings through as much information as it can, including prescription and so on, but many of the values, claim amounts, you need to put in manually at this stage. So I won't go through it. I'll just quickly put some data in there. In fact, this isn't going to submit because it's not under 16 and I haven't got an approved code, so I'm just going to skip over that for the time being. Just show you one other aspect of the eGOS system. If I go to dispensing, in fact, I'm just going to select a different patient this time. making it random. And I'm going to go to dispensing. And on the funded examination, okay, so what I want to illustrate here is what to do if somebody comes in, has their eye test, but then wants to take their eGOS voucher elsewhere to buy the specs from somewhere else. On a funded examination, I would specify eGOS without dispense and place that order. Now, when I go to the eGOS section, I've got a eGOS voucher only button for this patient. And if I click on that, I fill the form in as normal. So that's the front of the form saved as normal. And then on the reverse, all I need to do is populate this top section here. So it's brought through the prescription. It's actually referring back to an old date on this prescription for this particular patient. I'll click to sign that as the patient, sorry, as the performer, and I'll save. I'll click on this button, save request voucher code. Okay. Yeah, I need to make sure that nothing is ticked down here. Okay, so that was actually saved when I put in the correct voucher code, voucher type into the front of the form, sorry, the back of the form. So now if I refresh the screen, I've got this eGOS I can view the front and the reverse, and I've got a select /status option of get voucher code. So if I tick that box and click submit, that has now requested the voucher and authorization code from PCSE, and if I click to view the front, those are actually stored in the form here. And as the option indicates there, I can now either print the form off or transfer those details onto another form to give to the patient. This print form isn't actually available yet, so that will be coming soon, along with a shortcut on the left-hand menu to allow me to generate that voucher-only dispense without having to go into the dispensing section. If I now just go and complete the other forms that we've filled in, so the eGOS and the eGOS from earlier, I click on tick boxes to submit the forms. First of all, a few words about these buttons at the bottom here. So we've got this button here, check PCSE server is ready. Now you don't have to do that, but if there's any times that PCSE server doesn't seem to be responding, or page doesn't seem to be working, if you just click on the button there, it will just ping the PCSE server just to make sure that it is available, and it is currently available, so that should be fine. I'll come back to the refresh status in a second. The batch sign I haven't mentioned, but as you populate the forms for a particular clinic, you may have 10 forms, for example, all ready to be signed by the performer or the contractor. And if that's the case, you can be able to tick the box to say batch sign, click on the batch sign button. It will allow you to put a signature into the performer or the suppliers section. And then when you save that, that would apply the same signature to all of the forms that have been selected. So, like I say, I've not demonstrated that here, but you can try that yourselves. But yeah, once the forms are all signed and complete, I can now choose to submit the forms. So I do that by clicking the submit button. The immediate response from PCSE is awaiting confirmation. Each of the forms that are submitted in this particular batch have a reference number, so 79 in this case. So if ever I wanted to search only for those claims, then I put batch reference above here. obviously filter down according to those. Here we'll come back to the refresh status button. So the status of each of these claims is only updated when you request an update. So if I click on refresh status, it will go off to PCSE, check the claim. So okay, we've got two results here. The eGOS one's been rejected, saying that there is a duplicate claim. Claim can't be proceeded with. I'll just hover my mouse over that text, you see the full error message. And then the eGOS 3.1 here has been accepted, so that's good to see. As far as the rejected one is concerned, there might be various reasons why it has been rejected. Obviously, in this case, it's because there's a duplicate, so we wouldn't be able to do anything about that or resubmit anything. But if it was an error, a data error, or incorrect bit of information, such as missing performer number or something, obviously the system will try and catch those errors before you submit it. But if anything gets through, then it comes back as rejected. What you need to do is click on the reset button, which will allow you to go back into the eGOS 1 form, correct any information that may be invalid, resave it, and then resubmit. Obviously, if I do the same here, it's just going to come back with exactly the same error, rejected message, so I won't do that now. The accepted or rejected status usually comes back quite quickly from PCSE, but you can continue to refresh for pages, and it may take 10 or 30 minutes, I don't know, or even longer, but eventually your forms will come back and you'll have a date when to expect payment. All of these submissions, once they've gone and been submitted to PCSE, they will appear on your PCSE portal, so you can also check them on there and make sure everything's all in order. If you want to sort of get a tally of how many forms you've submitted in a particular period and the current status, there's a print summary option here. So if I click on the summary, it will use the dates selected, start and end date here, and generate a brief report. So in the period selected, I've seen 2 patients, standard NHS rate test 1 for B voucher, and 1 eGOS voucher taken away. How many have been submitted and so on. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Let's just have a quick look, see if there's anything else. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything with regards to eGOS 1s, 3s and 4s. The only thing to mention is going back to the printing, which we touched on at the very beginning of the previous session. As I said, some eGOS forms aren't currently available PCSE. One thing that has cropped up a few times is the eGOS 2s. Apparently PCSE have run out of the eGOS 2 forms. So just one thing just to mention on here, you can, because this form isn't being sent back to PCSE and then read in by an optical reader, you can print your own versions of these forms, and to do that, click on print. And the default setting will come through without the background showing, but under my settings, if I tick on background graphics or whatever it might say in your particular printer settings, it will allow you to print the background of the eGOS 2 form, so you can then go ahead and print that rather than waiting for the PCSE stationery to arrive. The other forms, you do have to use the official stationery because of the positioning of the boxes, which need to be in a very specific place ready for the scanners to read. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions, just give myself or Justine an email or a call, and we can help either get your site configured, or if you haven't started using Blink and you want eGOS in Blink yet and you want to get going, then all I need from you is your contractor name, your organization code, the address, telephone number and name of a nominated person in the practice. We can then get the PSK requested and get you set up and ready to go. Thanks for watching.